Hello there viewers, and welcome to the very first video that I will put on this channel. For my very first video, I would like you to show you something that's very special to me, and that is a Gundam model. To be more precise, it's the Wing Gundam Zero custom model, which comes from the Gundam Wing universe. But first, let's take a second to talk about what exactly is Gundam Wing. It is actually an anime, or Japanese cartoon if you're not familiar with the term. Mobile Suit Gundam contains different alternate universes, where different stories follows different paths. Gundam Wing is part of the AC universe. The AC acronym stands for After Colony. It is a new era for mankind, whom has colonized space. For such an event, they have started a new calendar, referred to as the After Colony calendar. Man has built colonies situated around the Earth's orbit. These huge structures can house millions of people, where they live in conditions similar to that of Earth. To help build these impressive structures, mankind has developed mobile suits, which would provide a survivable environment for the workers that were employed in the hostile space domain. These suits would make tasks such as moving in zero gravity or lifting heavy beams a much easier process. Before long, strife was born between the colonies of space and the Earth. The latter sought out to control the colonies, while the former wanted independence. Soon after, a war broke out. It didn't take long before the military would use the mobile suit technology and render all previous weapons obsolete. These suits that were once used for the advancement of mankind are now unbeatable weapons that are well suited for almost any terrain. Under the iron grip of the Earth, the colonies had enough, and planned on dropping a colony onto Earth to cause a never-ending nuclear winter. But instead, they sent out 5 Gundams. Gundams are like mobile suits, except they are made of Gundanium alloy, a metal that can only be produced in zero gravity. This alloy, being virtually indestructible, made the Gundams by extension practically unbeatable. Only a few of them were ever made, and Wing Gundam Zero was amongst the most powerful ones ever created. But enough about that. Let us move on to the box itself. As you can see, it's a beautiful box with angelic wings and everything. And on the side, we can see the different, poses that you can have with the Gundam, that you can put it in. You can have the box shows the different parts, the weapons, the rear view, and etc. If we open the box, oops, you'll notice first pretty much the finished model, what it will look like, the picture. Next we have different parts. We call these the molds. There's a lot of them. Alright. And finally, we have the most important part, without which this would be practically impossible to build, which is the instruction booklet on how to build and assemble these parts. The booklet also has colored pictures, which are pretty to look at, and as you can see, it has instructions on how to assemble the multitude of different pieces that come with the box set. Let us talk about the tools of the trade now. Mostly you will need a light duty knife, as you can see here. This is for precision cutting, because you want to scrape off excess pieces, and this greatly helps. You can use this type of a knife, or you can use something like this. Let us take a more in-depth look at the instruction manual now. You have on the side you have the side menu, and it will show you at what part you are. For example, we're at page 6, and this here indicates that we're at a part where and body unit is showcased and how to be constructed or assembled. So if we look at it, as most Gundam models are prone to, this one starts with the cockpit, that is to say the assembly of the cockpit. You can see the different pieces that are to be assembled and from which molds you can take them. For example, F5 goes in conjecture with all these pieces into F4. So that is about it. Here we can see the pilot, which is for this Gundam Hero Yui. And now we're gonna move on to the construction of the Gundam itself. Here I have a mold, and if we go to the part where I have to construct it, it says that I have to put, for let's say the first part, I have to assemble the H1 and H2 pieces. So I search for the H mold, which is this one. You can see the identification here, and then you search for the number, which are here, 1 and 2. So these two pieces will have to be assembled first. So let us begin. You can to take them out, you can either use pliers or you can use your own hands. I prefer using my hands because it's much easier, but everyone has their own preferred method. So let's start. I start taking it out, breaking plastic pieces. Much fun, yes. Just be careful not to destroy the piece, but it's pretty dumb-proof, if you ask me. Alright, so we have our two pieces right now. And I don't know if you can see here, but we have a bit of excess. So we're gonna use the precision knife, and we're gonna scrape off that excess. There we go. It doesn't really matter for this part because it's gonna be in the interior, so it's not gonna be seen. But still, if you're a perfectionist, you are prone to doing this for every piece. We do it for this one, and yeah, we do it for this. You can smooth it out with your fingernails. You do it till it's smooth to the touch. Right now it is, so that's about enough. We can stop there. It says that we have to connect these two pieces. This is a pretty straightforward piece assembly. We just take the two, connect them, snap them together. That's it. Alright, we can see it's snapped together. For next part, we will have the pieces F5 and F4 to assemble. So we take the right mold, we take out the right pieces, which are these two, F5 and F4. We take them out, so you break them. Whoop. These ones are more hardy. There we go. Same thing for this one. There we go. All right. It's a bit crude. It's a bit cruder method than using pliers, but it's pretty effective. We clean the pieces off. All right. We don't care much for this. It's still an interior piece. This one seems to be also in a bit of need of cleaning, so that's what we do. You should be careful how you use the knife. I think the right method is to pull the sharp edge towards you, so you have less chance of doing grievous wounds to yourself. Alright, that seems to be okay. So we have those two pieces. Alright, now we're gonna move on to assembling the whole cockpit. As you can see here, we have a multitude of pieces that I took the liberty of taking out and not showing on the video because, let's be honest, it's all repetitive. So you should just repeat from the very first part what I did, and it's the same process for every other piece. So as you can see here, we have this whole area here. This whole area here is for just the cockpit, the cockpit mechanism, and every piece that is here, we have it also here. So that is there. Now we're gonna assemble this here. So let's start by putting this part here, right? Next, we will put these two together. Be careful, sometimes there's small details where on one side you have something and on the other side you don't, and it's also detailed in the instruction booklet, so you should be careful on which side you put it. We move on to these two, where one goes into the other, like so. Next, we put in the pilot inside his seat here. Alright, now we're just gonna let gravity fail me. We're gonna let, please gravity. Hold him like that. And then we're gonna snap these two together. Like so. And there's a small mechanism here where he can slide out or back in, because this is the cockpit, and the cockpit can slide out a bit, as you will see later on when I show all the different mechanisms of the Gundam. So that's it. We have assembled our very first piece set. In the next parts, I will show you the different articulations and different parts. Like, I'll move on once I complete the arm and leg unit. I will show it. Same for the wings, weapon, and the final assembly, where I will also compare this model to another